Yeah.
Order filled. Check us out.
You know what time it is.
This is Mighty Soldiers exclusive.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it.
What's up, guys? Andy with Mighty Soldiers Trades. We are here with an amazing guest. I'm really happy to have our guest today, you guys. This is super awesome. Okay, so I'm not even going to tell you guys where John got his education, but I'm just going to, without further ado, man, I'm going to bring John on here. Hi, how you doing today, John?
Hi, good morning, Andy. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm doing great.
I figured that it would be better to let you introduce yourself than for me to introduce you, because you have your education alone is pretty awesome. The people that you've had as mentors, you know, and you guys, I got to start by saying that John has been sending me these levels that he's watching and the correlations that he's looking at, and they are spot on and beautiful. This is the most impeccable analysis that I've seen. So basically, John, if you don't mind, how did you even get started with trading? What got you into this mess?
You know what? Actually, it's a long story because, you know, I never thought, when I was younger, I always want to be in the financial business, but I never had the opportunity that I really had to. And then I got just by accident, a friend of mine took me to a seminar. The seminar was held by Online Trading Academy back in 2013. So, you know, I came from no background, no knowledge, no experience of any financial whatsoever. But, you know, it was an amazing seminar that I attended, and I was very much interested in getting into. I said, okay, you know, if I want to invest money in the market, I better know what I'm doing. So I was willing to put in some investment to learn how to trade. So I really literally started with equity. It wasn't that cheap. You know, they actually charge, I remember, if I'm not mistaken, just for learning trading stock alone was $6,500 for a very basic class. And then it went up to another level and then add another $5,000-$6,000 more. But anyway, long story short, I started with an equity, and, you know, it wasn't easy for me because I came from no background, know nothing about stocks, investing, or anything about trading. So.
Well, I mean, that reminds me of myself a little bit. Not having the really great education with Online Trading Academy. I've heard really great things about them, but for me, what I started with no background like you, and I started playing YouTube videos. I started buying all these types of websites that had little cheap courses, you know. And what I did was I just pressed play, and I didn't know what they were talking about, and I fell asleep. And then I would wake up and I would replay it, and I would keep falling asleep and keep replaying it, you know. And like it was a tough and tedious start because the education that I was getting was not from high quality, you know, a high quality school or anything. It was from people that really didn't barely know what they were talking about. So they were just brushing the surface.
Yeah,
Online Trading Academy, if I can ask you, would you say that that it definitely helped you? It was definitely worth it?
Well, it is, because the structure that they set up was very, very comprehensive, and it was very, very helpful to students. And one of the good things is you can actually, they have on-campus courses, you know, you take there for a while, and then you can go online. So they have actual instructors over there to show you, to guide you. I think that's the most important part. You practice, and they have a corporate account and let you practice on it. You don't have to pay for that because everything's packaged in the tuition that you pay for. So I learned from that, and then they have a lot of amazing instructors. These guys all come from the Wall Street, you know, professional side. I have amazing instructors. It was a frequent guest on Bloomberg and CNBC. Ed Ponzi was my former instructors. They have actually 4 or 5 CMTs over there. So we're very blessed and lucky to learn from the best.
Yeah, a lot of the guys that you mentioned from over there, I didn't even know that they were from Online Trading Academy, but I know these guys. I've seen them in the business, and they're definitely people I look up to. So, John, so basically, so you started trading more Forex, is that what I understand?
Yeah, I started with equity first, and then I learned the future market. So the future market was the second asset that I learned to trade. You know, I actually traded for a few years. And then Forex was the latest product that I learned to trade. And I find it to be very, very amazing after I finished all 3. And I started to notice, you know, how important correlation is it's a great asset for a trader to have. Use that, and you can use that in trading to gain an edge and to your advantage compared to those traders. They don't understand about correlation.
I know me and you, we share a lot of similarities with how we see price and how it reacts and acts. And see, me, I'm more like I do some foolish things, like I will buy at places where I should not be buying. But you look for strength. You're looking at the supply and demand. You're analyzing it before you ever even touch these trades, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of different levels and zones on the chart, but like I said, the whole chart I view as a battlefield. How are you gonna, position yourself is very, very important. Sometimes you just need to let the enemy to come in a little deeper. Then you hit them. You don't necessarily just to strike when you see a level you want to get in. So it's everything all comes down with ultimately it's a strategy.
Yeah, I'm learning more with trial and error, and when you touch the stove and it's really hot, I do that often. So I'm like, you know what? I can see exactly now. I come back to that same position in the chart, and I'm like, so basically the charts are forcing me where you are right now, but you're doing it with more of an analysis, looking at not just you're not just looking at the ES futures, the S&P futures. You're not just looking at the SPY, you're looking at correlations between, I noticed you were telling me about the yen. Can you tell us exactly what is it with the yen that gives you an idea of what might be happening in the market?
Yeah, so the Japanese yen, it's also, it's always a safe haven product, so it's usually against the S&P. When S&P going up and Japanese yen will go down. So like, in other words, when people they see the markets coming down and stock markets dropping, they will go to products like yen and gold to hedge, And oftentimes, some people, they understand the concept of hedging on gold, but they don't understand there's other two products you can hedge against. One is yen and one is the bond market. So I look at all three, and a trader must understand how markets are interconnected and they're impacting with each other. So if you utilize the correlation, you will definitely gain an edge and use that to your advantage in trading.
Well, I personally have a lot to learn as far as bonds go, but as I do this more, I'm seeing that if I can pay attention to these things, just like you're saying, that it gives me a more of an edge, and that's why we call this the trader's edge, because the way that you're looking at this correlation and the way that you're analyzing the levels on the charts, and you're letting the stars align before you just go jumping into things, and I'm sure that creates a lot less stress. And beyond that, I'm assuming that you have tight risk control measures too.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for bringing it up, because, I find it's very, very important, because a trader, when you first got in, you don't know nothing. We're all learning, we're all learning as we, continue to pursue this as a career. But, when you trade one product, you may not understand the correlation, but the more you learn, the more you understand, you start to understand this concept much better. You start to utilize how markets are interconnected. They're working in a mechanical fashion. Yes. And the other thing that you just touch upon, risk management, is definitely the key. One of my rules is, even if, no matter how you see the probability in a trade, no matter how you see, the odds of your trade could be a success. If the risk is more than I can handle, I don't get in that, so that's a very, very important thing.
Yeah, position sizing is key first and foremost, but like finding the right level and not executing at the wrong time, that is another one. Because I can't tell you how many times that I've decided to just go ahead and hit the button. Like I know that I should wait just a few minutes longer, and wait out the move, but I hit it just a little too soon, and then it does exactly what I thought it was going to do, putting me into that red, and then it might even put the screws to me a little bit. When I say hit, I mean getting into the trade at the wrong place. And supply and demand, and just the way this works, it's the ebbs and flows. It's more like the waves of the ocean. It's not just a straight up or a straight down every day.
Absolutely. And the other thing, when you just mentioned about getting a trade, so there's always opportunity for traders to get in. Not necessarily you want to take a bigger risk. So what I do is to manage my risks, and part of my strategies is, if my zoom is too wide and I just let the price sink in, and then until the breakout happens. Because when breakout happens, usually there's a new level form, so you get in from there. So and that new level will minimize your risk compared to the zone you want to take. So that's just one of the strategies that I implemented, because like I say, there's a lot of tools out there, and people using, you can say they are breakout traders, they are supply demand traders, support and resistance. But these are the tools for trader to use. How you implement them is a strategy.
Well, everybody watching, I just need you guys to know that you're going to want to come back and join me and John, because I think John has probably sent me now at least 30 zones. Okay, I could be guessing, but I think like 30 zones. And out of those 30 zones, I can't remember one of them that's failed. So you guys definitely want to come back here. You're going to want to hear what John has to say. He knows his stuff, and he's looking at this in a way that helps me to even just be a little more calm, wait it out, and not go jump in the gun. And I think that's what we all really need, is just a better understanding of price. And what I'm seeing so far is you definitely are understanding price quite well, John.
Well, thank you. And I mean, thank you, Andy. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for bringing me on. But
is there anything else you'd like to share about how are you coming up with these levels? How are you establishing such amazing zones for I mean, every day I've traded both with and against the ideas that you've shared with me, and I've regretted trading against every single one of them. So,
well, one of the things that I focus on is, and that takes time, and also that's part of the experience, because a lot of new traders, they tend to use different kind of, putting a lot of indicators on, and they hope that's going to guide them to enter the trade. I'm more a price action trader. I don't look at no indicators. I pretty much focus on a chart, what's right in front of me. I think that's much more important. It provides you the firsthand knowledge, firsthand information, what you were seeing on a chart, rather than looking at a moving average or a Bollinger Band or something. I'm not saying these tools are not useful. They are useful. However, they're only for confirmation. They're not for executing. So the execution comes down to price action, the candlestick patterns, the location, geographic location on the chart. One of the leading indicators I often use is called the geographic location. It's one of 6 leading indicators, has nothing to do with the conventional indicators. So focus on a chart, price action is much more important than you're focusing on a moving average, put it on, and usually when you spot a moving average, put it on, price is lagging, price already took off. You know what I mean? You want to get in before everyone else get in. So that's the key.
Well, one thing I say as far as moving averages and stuff goes is that, it's all a lagging indicator. Everything that we see is after the it's basically we're seeing everything as a lagging indicator anyways. The action's already taken place by the time we're seeing it, is my point. But what you're talking about is just looking at the chart naked with just the candlesticks on there. It reminds me a lot of the strat. And one of the things that the strat has taught me is that price discovery works in a series of broadening formations. And I find that to be beautiful, because what that's done, and this is something that I had my own rough idea of this, that price can run you through in both directions at times. I believe that there's places on a chart that if you go long or short, it's not going to work out for you, because price is not stable at that area. There's not some strong supply or demand, and I don't think that the participants are just into giving money away. But
right.
But the strat is it's a clean chart, and it's just the candles and just looking for price discovery, looking for supply and demand, looking at what really matters, and that's price.
Right. So by as you mentioned, by looking at the chart, just focus on the candle in front of you. Actually, that has a lot of information in it. A trader must learn to understand how to interpret a chart. Be able to interpret chart is very, very important. Virtually by looking at the candles on the chart. Yeah,
I mean, I do personally. I use my moving averages not as much as I mean, they can be a predictable area of rejection, and I look at predictable areas of rejection a lot, but I look at them more as a guide for a trend. You can really generally see the trend much easier. And I think that depending on how you look at price, having something to let you know what side of the road you're on. You don't want to be in the oncoming lane of traffic, right? So to be able to have something that sort of gives us, and I think Brian Shannon does the same thing. He'll say, you know, we're under this level right now, so no, I don't think that anybody's really enthusiastic about going long. You know, so that's what I use it more for. Like, which side of the field are we on?
Right,
But,
right. You know, I mean, like I mentioned, you know, people invent these tools for a reason. Indicators, you know, they're not useful. They're not unuseful. They are useful, but you can use that as a measurement, as a confirmation by, you know, looking at the chart in combination to focus on where exactly the level's at, where the moving average it touched, let's say, you know, 100 or 200, you know, and you have to look at the level on the chart, and that help you to make the ultimate decision.
Yeah, I mean, the VWAP also, I think the VWAP is invaluable to be able to get the information with the volume and price, you know, all in one place like that. And Brian Shannon, again, I'm bringing him up. He's got a new book out about the anchored VWAP, and the anchored VWAP is another one that I find, it just surprises me. And I feel that statistically, this just can't be by chance that these things are working out so beautifully that we'll either hold above and we'll stay strong above, or, you know, like we'll reject below and we'll reject with a vengeance. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that it's beautiful whenever I have any trader on here that says that they're just looking at price and the candles is what matters to them. And it's obviously, you know, if that works for you and it's working great for you, that's where, I mean, that's what really matters. Price is what really matters. Yeah.
Actually, one of the tools I find, you know, I use pretty often myself is RSI. RSI I find to be very, very helpful sometimes. At least, you know, sometimes it could stretch for a while, but at least it's an indication telling you either price going to be it's oversold or overbought. You know, just give you a heads up, let you know price going to fall or price going to bounce from here.
Well, you guys, I want to thank you guys for the birthday wishes, and thanks for joining us. You guys are really awesome. Yeah, yesterday was a great day. And John, I know that you got to get back to work. You have a day job, and you're doing this, and you're knocking this out of the park. I think it's amazing. But before we go, and you know, I can get you back on next week if you'd like. But before we go, I'd like to know, where can people find you so they can learn how you are coming up with these levels, these zones, and maybe how they can do it for themselves?
Right. Well, currently, you know, I'm an instructor teaching. I'm a mentor instructor for a company, a name called TradeMasters. So, you know, I'm actually teaching every Wednesday night, teaching Forex. But I will post my, you know, set up a posting on Facebook somewhere. So we'll probably talk about this in the future sessions.
Yeah, that's great. I look forward to it. And if we can, eventually, I would like to get maybe talk to the company you're working with about getting a link for our show here, so we can share that and get people over there so they can come learn from you. Because, like I said, I'm learning. I love everything you've shared so far, and you've I'm just going to be honest. When I first start hearing any trade, I have so many traders, John, come messaging me all the time, telling me about what they're doing, what they're looking at, and everything. You're the first to do it, where everything you've said has been beautiful. It's been amazing, and I am super impressed. And I mean, that's what I'm here for. I want to provide value, and I know that bringing someone like you on is definitely providing value for the community. That's the main thing that matters to me in the end, is just being able to provide value, help new traders, but help growing traders as well, help struggling traders, whatever we can do.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it. Look forward to it in the future.
All right, John, and yeah, so like I said, we'll get a link, guys, so you guys can go check out John. We have a screen that's going to flash up here in the end. It has his Twitter, so you can go ahead and follow him over there. I think that John's more active in some of the Facebook groups. He's even in Steve Joseph Burns' group, New Trader U, over on Facebook.
Yes.
So, you know, go check that out, and you guys got to check out these charts. Any of the, again, in the future, John, if we could share links for any of the Facebook groups or anything that you're in, I think that it's going to be a great value to the community. But without keeping you here too long so you can get to work, thanks, John. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you, Eddie. You have a good weekend. Take care.
You too. Thanks.